Good day, distinguished delegates and fellow researchers. My name is Jonathan Berganio. I completed my Master in Business Administration at Colegio de la Purísima Concepcion in June 2025. I am currently a first year student in the Doctor in Business Administration program at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines Open University System. Today, I am honored to present my research titled Transformational Leadership in Remote Operations, a narrative review of theoretical foundations, empirical evidence, and practical implications. This study addresses a critical question in modern organizational management. How can leadership adapt to the challenges in remote work? With the rise of virtual operations, especially in health and welfare service delivery, leaders face unique obstacles, such as maintaining engagement, ensuring operational efficiency, and fostering trust without the benefit of physical presence. My research explores how transformational leadership, or TFL, can bridge these gaps by inspiring teams, promoting effective communication, and supporting work life balance in a digital environment. Through a mixed method approach, this study aims to provide actionable insights for leadership development programs that strengthen remote operations in the Philippine consulting sector. Thank you for joining me as we delve into the theoretical foundations, empirical evidence, and practical implications of transformational leadership in the context of remote work. Remote work has significantly reshaped organizational dynamics, particularly following the COVID-19 pandemic. Organizations have transitioned to virtual environments, which introduced challenges such as role ambiguity, reduced social presence, and communication gaps. These factors can undermine productivity and employee well being if not addressed effectively. The study focuses on transformational leadership, or TFL, as a potential solution to these challenges. TFL emphasizes inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, and individual consideration, which can compensate for the lack of physical interaction in remote settings. By fostering trust, clarity, and engagement, transformational leaders can help remote teams maintain cohesion and achieve operational efficiency. This research is timely and relevant as remote work becomes a permanent feature in many industries, requiring adaptive leadership strategies to sustain engagement and performance. The rationale of this study stems from the growing reliance on remote operations in health and welfare delivery teams in the Philippines. These teams depend on digital platforms and asynchronous workflows to meet client demands, which increases pressure on communication and well being. Traditional leadership approaches may not suffice in such contexts, making transformational leadership a critical area of inquiry. TFL behaviors, such as articulating a compelling vision and providing individualized support, can mitigate isolation and enhance adaptability. This study integrates theoretical perspectives from transformational leadership theory, social exchange theory, and the job demands resources model to explain how leadership behaviors influence engagement and efficiency. Additionally, cultural factors like Kapwa and Bayanihan values are considered to understand leadership effectiveness in the Philippine setting. This research aims to fill gaps in empirical evidence on TFL in Southeast Asia and provide actionable insights for leadership development in remote work environments. The study pursues five key objectives. Number one, to assess the presence and extent of transformational leadership behaviors among supervisors in remote teams. Number two, to examine the relationship between transformational leadership and employee engagement and operational efficiency. Number three, to explore employee perceptions of leadership practices in remote work settings. Number four, to identify mediating factors such as communication, trust, work life balance, and technological support. And number five, to integrate findings for actionable recommendations in leadership development. These objectives collectively aim to provide a comprehensive understanding of how leadership behaviors influence outcomes in virtual environments. By addressing these objectives, the study contributes to theory by clarifying mechanisms of leadership effectiveness and to practice by informing leadership development programs tailored for remote operations. The study is grounded in three major frameworks: transformational leadership theory, social exchange theory, and the job demands resources or JDR model. Transformational leadership theory explains how leaders inspire and motivate followers beyond self interest through behaviors such as idealized influence, inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, and individualized consideration. This is directly relevant to remote work, where physical distance weakens social presence and requires leaders to provide clarity and psychological support. Social exchange theory emphasizes reciprocity and trust as mechanisms linking leadership to outcomes. When leaders demonstrate integrity and support, employees reciprocate with engagement and discretionary effort. The JDR model posits that job resources, such as supportive leadership and clear communication, buffer the job demands and enhance engagement. Under remote conditions, transformational leadership acts as a resource by providing meaningful goals, feedback, and autonomy while promoting flexibility and individualized consideration to enhance work life balance. These theories collectively justify the study's focus on TFL as a mechanism for improving engagement and operational efficiency in virtual teams. The conceptual framework models transformational leadership as a as an independent variable influencing two key outcomes: employee engagement and operational efficiency. Mediating variables include trust in leadership, communication effectiveness, and work life balance, which explain how leadership behaviors translate into performance outcomes. Control variables such as tenure, role, and digital proficiency are included to account for contextual differences. This framework reflects the integration of JDR and social exchange mechanisms, positioning TFL as a resource that enhances engagement and efficiency through relational and communication pathways. The diagram visually represents these relationships, highlighting direct and mediated effects, and serve as a guide for hypothesis testing and data analysis. This study uses a sequential design combining quantitative surveys and qualitative interviews for comprehensive analysis. In the first phase, involves a quantitative survey using validated instruments such as the Multi-Factor Leadership Questionnaire or MLQ for TFL and the Ultrich Work Engagement Scale or UWES for engagement, along with the objective KPIs for operational efficiency. The second phase consists of qualitative interviews to contextualize and explain quantitative findings. Data analysis includes structural equation modeling, or SEM, for hypothesis testing and thematic coding for qualitative insights. This design is chosen to address limitations in prior research, such as reliance on cross sectional data and self report measures, by combining statistical rigor and rich contextual understanding. Ethical considerations include informed consent, confidentiality, and compliance with institutional guidelines. Results and discussions. Problem statement number one. What is the level of transformational leadership behaviors perceived by remote team members? Survey responses indicate moderate to high levels of TFL behaviors, particularly in idealized influence and individualized consideration. Inspirational motivation scored slightly lower, suggesting room for improvement in articulating a compelling vision in virtual settings. These findings confirm that TFL is present in remote teams, but certain dimensions require enhancement to fully engage dispersed employees. Problem statement number two. What is the level of employee engagement and operational efficiency? Employee engagement scores show strong dedication and absorption, but moderate vigor, indicating fatigue risks in prolonged remote work. Operational efficiency metrics meet organizational benchmarks through or though variability exists across teams. Engagement remains robust despite remote challenges, but energy levels need support through well-being initiatives. Problem statement number three. Does TFL significantly predict employee engagement? SEM reveals that transformational leadership has a positive and statistically significant effect on employee engagement, with a standardized coefficient of about 0.45 and a p-value less than 0.01. This validates the theoretical expectation that transformational behaviors enhance psychological investment in work. Problem statement number four. Does TFL significantly predict operational efficiency? TFL shows a positive but weaker direct effect on operational efficiency, with a standardized coefficient of about 0.22 and a p-value less than 0.05, suggesting that leadership influences efficiency indirectly through engagement and trust. Problem statement number five. Do trust in leadership, communication effectiveness, and work life balance mediate their relationships? Bootstrapping confirms partial mediation by trust and communication for engagement and trust for efficiency. Work life balance mediates engagement but not efficiency. Problem statement number six. What qualitative themes explain the mechanisms linking TFL to outcomes? Interview themes include digital empathy, clarity in chaos, and flexibility as trust. These themes illustrate how transformational behaviors translate into tangible experiences that sustain engagement and efficiency in virtual teams. Conclusions. TFL behaviors are present but require improvement in vision, articulation, and motivational communication. Engagement is strong but vigor is moderate, signaling fatigue risk. Efficiency is stable but variable. TFL significantly predicts engagement, confirming its role as a psychological driver. TFL predicts efficiency weakly, indicating the need for complementary strategies. Trust and communication mediate leadership effects, highlighting their importance in virtual contexts. And qualitative themes underscore the value of empathy, clarity, and flexibility in remote leadership. Recommendations: train leaders in vision articulation and motivational communication to strengthen inspirational motivation. Implement well-being programs and flexible work arrangements to sustain vigor and reduce fatigue. Embed TFL behaviors in leadership development programs to maintain engagement. Combine leadership initiatives with process optimization strategies to improve efficiency. Develop trust building and communication protocols for remote leaders, and integrate work life balance policies to strengthen mediating pathways. And create leadership toolkits emphasizing empathy, structured communication, and autonomy to operationalize qualitative insights. These are the key references on transformational leadership, remote work, and employee engagement. These works provide the theoretical and empirical foundation for the study, and it emphasizes the importance of adaptive leadership in remote work contexts and invites discussion on strategies for enhancing engagement and efficiency in virtual teams. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for the opportunity to present my research at the 13th International Conference on Multidisciplinary Research. My study, Transformational Leadership in Remote Operations, a narrative review of theoretical foundations, empirical evidence, and practical implications, addresses a critical challenge in today's work environment: how leadership can adapt to virtual settings to sustain engagement and operational efficiency. As remote work becomes a permanent reality, transformational leadership provides a powerful framework for building trust, enhancing communication, and promoting work life balance. These insights are not only relevant to academic discourse, but also hold significant practical value for organizations worldwide. I am deeply honored to contribute to this global dialogue and look forward to exchanging ideas, learning from my fellow researchers, and exploring collaborative opportunities to advance leadership and organizational effectiveness in the digital era. Thank you, and I welcome your questions and feedback. Maraming salamat po.